It's my pleasure to introduce your host this evening and the gentleman that's going to be talking to you tonight. He's at the top of this idea in the last 11 years. He's been a great a great mentor to myself. He's a top income producer. He's on the President's Advisory Council. Let's just say he knows what he's doing, and he's the perfect person to tell you about it. From Oklahoma City, Mr. Troy Brown. Troy, did you make the call?
Bob, thank you for that. And let's get rolling here. And first of all, welcome everybody on the call. My name's Troy Brown. I'm in Oklahoma. And obviously somebody asked you to come on this call tonight, this Zoominar that we're having for the Children Worldwide team. And they've got some information they want to share with you. So I'm here to share it with you again, Troy Brown in Oklahoma. So let me kind of just get into it. You know, about 11 years ago, I saw this information for the first time. It's the first time I'd ever seen it. And what happened was a friend called me out of the blue and asked me to take a look at this information. So what I really did when he called, you know, he just called out of the blue. I kind of blew him off the first time, and I said no because I'm a busy guy. And why I was so busy 11 years ago is I had an anesthesia practice. That's what I did for a living. I put people to sleep. Hopefully we won't do that here tonight, but that's what I used to do. And I was really busy, you know, making a nice income, but busy. And I told him no. Well, luckily for me, he called me back, and about 20 minutes later, he goes, let me get this right. I haven't seen you in years. I'm coming through your town, and you can't find 20 minutes to sit down with me. So I end up sitting down with him, and he shows me this information. Now, this was 11 years ago. The ideal that I'm getting ready to show you is 11 years old. And so when he walked in, he didn't have a PowerPoint like we're kind of showing you here tonight. He had a piece of paper and a pen, and he started talking to me about this ideal he'd come across, and he started saying some words and phrases. And I don't know about you guys, but sometimes when people say different words and different phrases to me, I get these mental pictures in my head, and I'm sure you're like that too. And sometimes my mental picture just isn't right. And the word and phrases that he was talking about that day was travel. He started talking about travel, and I got to tell you, when he said that, I shut down, because when he said travel, I heard timeshare. Well, I'm here to tell you tonight, this has nothing to do with the timeshare. He said he had a new way of travel. He kept talking about this new way. And every time he would talk about this new way of travel and tell me something about it, I would pretend I was listening, but I wasn't, because I'd shut my mind off, and I was just pretending. But he was telling me about this, if I get involved with this travel club with him, that if I became a member, I could go on trips, these great trips, and he called them dream trips. He said I could go on these great trips. I could go for wholesale instead of retail. And he started showing me these prices. And he said that this company, where they were going to be like the Sam's and Costco of travel, what they were going to do is use membership and drive the price way down because of bulk buying. They were going to drive it down and then pass the savings on to their members, just like Sam's and Costco. You know, other stores have the same products as Sam's and Costco, but a lot of times their prices are higher because they don't have the leverage of the memberships, and they don't buy quite in the bulk they do, and they have to create this margin. And see, Sam's and Costco is not a business of margin. It's more of a business of membership. Well, he started telling me that. And so he started showing me that we could do that. And what he did was he showed me some of these dream trips, and he would write them down on a piece of paper. And he'd tell me all about the dream trip and say, if I'm a member, I could get this price. And I go, wow, that's awesome. But I wasn't really listening, right? And he did that about 4 or 5 times. And he got to the end, and he goes, Troy, you're going to go on a vacation this year, aren't you? And you know what my answer was? No. I didn't go last year. I didn't go the year before that. Was I not going on vacation because I hated vacations? No, it was because I was time broke. And it wasn't because I didn't want to see the world that God created for us. It was because I was time broke. And many of you may be that same situation, that, you know, you're time broke. You'd like to go, but you don't have the time. And some of you may have the time, but you don't have the money. And so if we could cure those two things, if we could create more time and more money, or both, do you think more people want to see the world God created for us? And I got to think the answer is yes. And so he was showing me that. When he got down, he said, you're going to go on a vacation this year, aren't you? I said, nope. He goes, well, if you did go on vacation, would you rather pay wholesale or retail? And I said, well, that's a crazy question. Everybody'd rather play wholesale, but let me stop you right there. And I said to my friend, I wasn't trying to be rude. I was just being real brutally honest with him. I said, let me tell you the problem I have with what you're showing me. And I pointed to his piece of paper, and I said to him, I don't believe those prices. I know you're not lying to me, but I want to ask you a question. Remember, this was 11 years ago. I said, have you ever been on one of those dream trips? And he said, no. I said, do you know anybody that's been on a dream trip? And he said, no. I said, that's the problem, man. You're going to get there. There's going to be hidden costs, hidden agendas. I've seen stuff like this before. And and what he said was, he didn't argue with me. He said, you know what, Troy? That's a fair statement. He goes, so why don't you do this? Why don't you just get in the travel club with me? Remember, this is brand new 11 years ago. Why don't you get in the travel club with me? Let's go on one of these dream trips together. Let's take our family. And if it doesn't work, we'll just both quit. And I said to him, you can quit, because if you've ever been on a timeshare, you know you can't quit. You're locked in. He said, yeah, you can quit. He goes, let's go. There's no contract. And so I said, okay, what's it cost to get involved in your little travel club? And he picked up my phone, which was laying on the table, and he said, less than the cost of this phone. And I said, really? He said, yep. And I pulled out my wallet, handed him my credit card, and I said, put me in right now. Now, I'd love to tell you that day I got in with my friend because I understood everything he was talking about. But to be honest with you, I wasn't really listening. I'd love to tell you that I knew this company was going to go on to do some great things in the travel world. And by the way, last year, the official numbers aren't in yet, but we did somewhere around $1 billion last year, in the last year alone. Okay, I'd love to tell you I knew we were going to do that kind of volume, but I didn't know that. I didn't have a crystal ball. I'd love to tell you that I got in that day because I knew we were going to be on the Inc. 5000 and growing fast, but I didn't know that, which we are on the Inc. 5000. I'd love to tell you that we won major awards in travel, not only in North America, but in Asia and Europe and Africa and all over in Australia. I'd love to tell you I got in because I knew that, but I didn't. The reason I got in that day, because number one, my friend asked me. Number two, it wasn't much money. And number three, I thought I could get him off my back. It was going to be an easy out, and I wasn't going to have to mess with this anymore because I could see he was passionate about it. So I get in, and like 20 minutes was up. I looked at my watch after, I signed up. He gave me a little website. And like 20 minutes up, I go to the hospital, and I'm not thinking about this all day. I go home, and then my wife asks me about it. Long story short, she wants to go on vacation now that we're in a travel club. I go on one of these trips to kind of do reconnaissance work and show her that it won't work. And what ends up happening on my first dream trip is it worked the way he said. I saved money, which was awesome. And I had the greatest time I'd ever had. I got extra stuff that I'd never got before. I got treated a little better than I've ever been treated before. I met people that they were unbelievable people that are still my friends today, 11 years later. And I thought, man, this is awesome. But then when I got back, I do that all week, go on that vacation, have the greatest time. But when I get back, I'm not thinking about vacations anymore. I'm back in the hospital, in the OR, doing anesthesia. And here's what changed everything. When I walked into that OR, when I walked in, I had the first patient of the day. We put them to sleep. It's like organized chaos. Everybody running around in there. Surgeon starts to work. Everybody gets focused, gets real quiet. And then when the patient's doing good, people start kind of talking. And so they start talking. And then the surgeon asked me this question, and here's what changed everything. He said, hey, Troy, how was your vacation? And right then I became the national spokesperson for this thing you're getting ready to hear about. I started telling about all the stuff I got, all the extras. I had a host. I got to go swim with the dolphins. That was included. Food, taxes, drinks, fees, everything was included. It was awesome. And then when I got done telling, I said, you're not going to believe what I paid for this. And when I said that, every head in the OR turned my way because they're nosy, just like your friend. And I told him the price. And when I did that, everybody's like, how did you get all that for that price? And I was like, well, this travel club thing deal I'm in. And then there was kind of this know-it-all nurse in the back. And I don't know about you, but wherever I've worked, there's always at least one know-it-all. And this was a know-it-all nurse. And she said to me, and everybody in there, wait a minute. You got all that stuff and you didn't have to pay extra for it? And I said this to her, no, I could have left my wallet at home. I got all of that. I didn't bring my wallet out again. She goes, really? I said, yeah. She goes, oh, I get it. You had to step through one of those things, didn't you? And my answer to that was no. In fact, I didn't see anything distract me because they kept talking about this peak life experience and they made it that, and it was unbelievable. She goes, really? I said, really? And then the magic words started coming out of people's mouths in that OR that day. Hey, can we get in that travel club thing too and go on those kind of trips too and get all that stuff for those kind of prices? And I was like, yeah. I didn't really know how it worked, but I was like, yeah, come on. And here's the thing. 7 people got involved that day in that OR. Now, Here's what I want you to listen to. Did 7 people get in that day because I knew all about the program? No, I wasn't listening. I just went on vacation. They started asking me. Did 7 people get in because I was a travel expert? No, not because of that. Here's why 7 people got in that day. Travel's an inherent yes. It is in you. I don't have to convince you you want to see the world that God created. And if you don't believe that it's not in you, think of this. If you've got kids, do we have to convince your kids they want to go to Disney World? The answer is no. And weren't we all kids one time too? And see, what had happened to us is we got out in the real world. We got our first job, and I'm not against jobs, and I'm not here to beat them up. But we got our first job, and they put that in that job. They put us in a thing that looked like a box, a box. And in that box, they said, here's what your box is going to look like, 40 years of your life, 40 hours a week, and you're going to do that. At the end of it, you're going to live on 40% of your pay. Now, again, not beating it up, just telling you the way it is. But if we could show you a way where we could see more of the world, and maybe if you wanted to, make a little money with it, would that interest most of you? And that's what I'm here to show you. So he kept talking about this new way that you're seeing on the screen today. Well, let me show you the new way. Again, we're the Sam's and Costco. We leverage members. We got way over 1 million people that have come through this program. And so we got all these members, and our buyers leverage the membership. So when they go out and buy, let's say we are going to Disney World. Here's a trip to Disney World right here on the screen. Going to, you're going to stay at the Gaylord Palms. We're 4- and 5-star type places. Gaylord Palms, 2 people for 3 days, $282 a night. That's $846. Hopper passes for 2 people, $310. Breakfast every day, $240. Airboat boat tour and transportation, $100. If you were a good shopper online or had somebody that was shopping for you, maybe you could get all those things somewhere around $1,500. I'm showing $1,496 right there. That's the way we usually buy. We go online and do that stuff. But remember, our buyers are like Sam's and Costco. They go in and they leverage the memberships. They say to these places, hey, if we bring our members, if we bring them X amount of times in a year and so many people a year, could we drive that price down? And I just ask you, do you think if you had the leverage of the membership like that, do you think we get a better price than somebody's trying to book it by themselves? The answer is yes. So instead of 2 people paying $1,500 for that trip, if you're part of our club, we got that same, all that stuff you're looking for. We had that same trip for $538 for 2 people. Now, if that were true, again, you don't know me from Adam, some of you, and somebody's just telling you to take a look at this, but if that were true, do you think most people would do that? Is that their current budget? I got to think yes. See, and so here's what has happened. We have done this for 11 years. 11 years. And I told you last year we did somewhere around $1 billion. We've done tens of thousands of dream trips. We've had lots and lots of people go on them. We're winning all kinds of awards. So right now, usually what I do is I would go through and show you dream trip after dream trip after dream trip, value after value after value, to show you the trips. But now in our 11th year, I don't think this idea is on trial anymore. I don't have to convince you this is working. I want you to hear from a few people that have been on a dream trip and let them tell you about their dream trip. So the first person I want to bring on is Lane Morrell. Her and her husband, Jeff, as you're seeing on the screen right now, they went on a dream trip here to Ireland. So I've just asked her to come on and tell you a little bit about that trip. Lane, are you out there?
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you great. Would you share with the people about the trip?
Absolutely. So this is one of the favorite trips that our family has ever done. And we actually got to stay, that bottom left picture there is Ashford Castle. It was the real King of Ireland's residence. And we had 2 bedrooms there. So the kids had their own room, and Jeff and I had a gorgeous room that had the bathroom that was like the size of one of the walls. It went forever. And this particular trip included 9 nights, 10 days, round trip airfare from Denver to Dublin, and a rental car for the entire time we were there. And we just had an absolute blast. I mean, to stay at Ashford Castle, it's voted one of the top hotels, not just in Ireland, but in Europe. And so we had 3 nights there. We had 6 nights at the Ritz-Carlton Powers Court, which is absolutely top notch. We also had 2 bedrooms at that place, which my husband always jokes. He says it's good to be the king and have your own room. So we had an absolute blast though. And when I looked up the price online, because I was curious how much money we were saving, compared to the best prices I could find online, as a family of 4, we saved $6,400 on this one trip. And by bar none, it was one of the best trips we've ever done as a family.
All right. Well, thank you, Lane. I appreciate that. Those pictures look awesome. So that was Lane out in Colorado. And next, I'm going to switch over to one of my good buddies. He lives right here in Oklahoma. His name is Derek Satterfield. He and his wife, Joyce, have been on many, many trips, but I've asked him to come on and share. So, Derek, are you there?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
Gotcha, buddy. Would you share with the people?
Yes. Thanks, Troy. After being on about 65 vacations and 23 dream trips total in the last 3.5 years, my favorite dream trip happened this year when I was able to create a team dream trip to Cancun, Mexico. This 5-day, 6-night stay at the Hard Rock Hotel and Spa was one of the most memorable experiences the wife and I had as dream trippers. From the airport transfers to the resort, our unbelievable host made sure that everything was taken care of, even for the team members that had flight delays. From the welcome party, the $1,500 resort credit, the day-to-day team excursions, the all-inclusion of the food, the drinks, and the service of the hotel staff just made this trip worth every single penny. I mean, even our ocean view and the VIP style suite that was more than what we asked for. We were just super excited about seeing our first of 7 original wonders of the world. This was a peak life experience, and we saved about $1,700 on this trip. So come join us, and we'll see you guys on the beaches of the world.
All right. Thank you, Derek. I appreciate that. And so you heard from a couple of people. Remember, we've done tens of thousands of these trips, and I just want to show you a couple so you can see it. If you see here this next screen, it's saying stress-free vacations on your current budget. Again, you heard over $6,000 savings on one trip, over $1,500 on the other, and I showed you kind of how we got those. We've done this for over 11 years. We're now in 30 markets around the world. We do vacations in over 70 countries around the world. We've done over 10,000 dream trips last year alone. And so that's kind of how this is going. Now, that's what's gone on so far. But what I want to really do, and why I didn't go through trip after trip after trip, again, I think we're not on trial anymore. We don't have to prove that this is working. We're 11 years into this. So I want to show you what's coming next. Here's the next big thing that's happening with us as a company. And here's what it is. I want to kind of share a little story with you. You guys all know about Apple computers, I'm sure, and how successful they are, but I want to kind of share a little story and why this is relevant. In 1998, Steve Jobs, he came out with the iMac computer. Now, they've been around for a while, and they had other computers before that, the Apple I, the Apple II. But in 98, he comes out with the iMac. And the iMac was significant, not because it was a great computer, which it kind of was, but what was really significant about that was the I. See, the I was going to start the ecosystem of the Apple family. And so they came out with the iMac in 1998, but Steve Jobs and his whole vision was about the ecosystem and what they were going to create within that Apple family. And so in 2001, he continued developing the ecosystem, driving to what was the iTunes, which it came out a little earlier, but the iPod in 2001. Now, you could play iTunes without the iMac, but it worked better together. It integrated better together. They talked better together. So that started the ecosystem. But then he closed the loop with that ecosystem in 2007 with the invention of the iPhone. Now, many of you out there are listening to this on an iPhone right now. You have iPhones. You know it's one of the greatest inventions of a modern era. But what was most significant to Steve Jobs and all, it closed the ecosystem. See, it was the ecosystem that he was really after. So why is that? Why am I telling that story? Well, it closed the loop. So the iPhone started driving stuff back towards the iPod, iTunes, which drove to their foundation product, which is the iMac, and that closed the loop. And now they all talk well together. Here's what I'm going to ask you. Has that been successful? Did that vision of Steve Jobs, did it work out to be pretty good? And the answer to that is absolutely. It's one of the most successful companies in the world today. Now, let me share why that's significant to us. We have our iMac computer, and we've had it since 2005, and it's called Dream Trips. I just showed you some Dream Trips. I just talked about Dream Trips. It is our foundation of our company. It's what we used to do right at $1 billion last year. Now, that started our ecosystem. See, we had a visionary that was running this company too. His name was Wayne. And Wayne, when I met him 11 years ago, he was excited about Dream Trips, but he kept talking about an ecosystem as well and how things were going to drive back and forth to each other. So in 2013, he started fulfilling that vision. And he came up with this thing called Earn Vacation. Now that Earn Vacations, think of it as points going up into a cloud. And as they go up into the cloud, you can use those points to go back and go on vacation. The already discounted vacations, the dream trips that you're going on, we can now drive the price even down further for you with points from Earn Vacation. Now, how did he do it? Well, we actually have an online shopping mall that when you shop with us, you earn points. So your stuff you're buying anyway from Walmart, Target, Kmart, Sam's, all these places. And we got thousands of retailers that we're doing business with. Well, when you buy through them, you're buying anyway. When you buy through us through this program, you earn points back into the cloud. So now you can use those points to drive the price even further down to pay for part of that trip. Now, we just came out here lately. We just started out with a dining program where you could actually eat your way to a vacation. So you go out and eat, and with the dining program that are our partners within this, you can earn points there and get points back. Being they're coming in. Now, why is this all important? Because that was the start of the next part of the ecosystem. But here just recently, and it's just in beta form right now. It's just now coming out. I got one in my pocket right now. Wayne and the team there at our company have come out with a smart card. It's called the Fly Card. And what's significant about the Fly Card, it's in beta test right now, is it's going to close the loop to all of this. See, here's the Fly Card right here. And as you're looking at it, it kind of looks a little different than a credit card. You're wondering, okay, where's this going? Well, that Fly Card right there, you see the green light? That's a light that blinks when it's being used. You see that little square? That square is an LED face. It's a picture face. So it's going to show different cards in there. So let me show you. This is not a credit card. It's a computer. See, right there, you can kind of see what's inside of there. This is actually a computer. So just like the iPhone, which is a phone, but in reality, it's a computer, and it drives the ecosystem. Think of all the things you can do on that phone. Well, we're going to be able to do things like that with this card. And this card was just at the CES Tech Show in Vegas, one of the big hits out there, and it's doing really well. There's some great people looking at it right now, but we are beta testing it right now. And I got to tell you, it's the only smart card right now actually working. I pay with it. There's people on this phone call that last week were with me. I paid with it. But when waitresses and people like that are seeing it, they're like, wow. But why is this significant? Well, I put all my cards on there, for example. I got 10 cards loaded in, or 8 cards loaded in mine right now. 8 cards. So I got a Visa, a MasterCard, an American Express. I can put loyalty cards on there. Eventually, I can put my room key stuff on there. It's all there. It's ultra secure. It's ultra convenient. It's ultra smart. We have an app that runs it. The app makes that ecosystem come in. It's waterproof. It's got beacon technology. So instead of having a magnetic strip, it's got a beacon on it. We earn points through it, the whole thing. It's going to close the loop, the ecosystem. So that card is now driving stuff back towards what is our base product, which did right at $1 billion last year. And now our loop, our ecosystem, just like Apple, is closed. One running to the other, and we can add new stuff into that ecosystem all the time. So how do you get it to be a member? How do you do it? We have 3 different memberships. We have the standard membership. So we got all the dream trips that we have. You can have access to those with our standard membership. That membership is $100 one time. You never pay that again. It's a one-time membership payment. Then $24.99 a month. And I'm going to show you how we can actually get rid of the payment. But $99 or $100 one time, $25 a month, but it all goes into the ecosystem cloud. Okay. Now, the second one is our Dream Trips Gold. You get all the Dream Trips that you've seen in the first one, but then you get the concierge service, you get dining discounts, you get entertainment discounts, you get the online mall, you get our online booking engine, all of that, $200, $50 a month. It all goes into the cloud. No matter what you take, goes into the cloud. And then our top level is called Platinum Dream Trips. You get all the stuff with the first 2, plus you get Teladoc at the bottom. You can apply 20% more points to when you're going on vacation from the cloud. You get emergency evacuation. You get perks of traveling. You get all these things added in there. That one's $300 one time, $100 a month. But remember, we got that cloud. So what happens? With that cloud, no matter what you spend, whichever one you decide fits you the best. By the way, pick the one on here that fits you the best. And whatever you decide to spend, that money goes into the cloud and sits in that cloud, and you can use that money to go on dream trips as well. Okay, so the dream trip's already down at a basement price that we've driven down, and you can use points to make it even lower. Okay, and so by the way, if you came in at gold, for example, you can always upgrade to platinum too. Okay, later on. Okay, so that's our 3 packages. And if you refer 4 people to the program, once you're in, you refer 4 people to the program, we waive your monthly fee. So no matter what monthly fee you got there, we waive that. Now listen to this. We waive the fee. Even if you're not paying the fee, we still put that monthly fee into the cloud for you, even if you're not paying it. And people ask me all the time, why would you do that? It's because we know this. If we get our members on dream trips quicker, they just don't leave. And we got somewhere just under 90% since inception of the company, just under 90% of the people that go on dream trips are still involved in the company today. So that's customer retention. They talk about, that's one of the most expensive things in business is customers acquisition costs and customer retention. That's what we do to do it. So that's the program on the membership. So I would tell everybody on listening tonight, I would encourage you, get one of those memberships and go on a trip with us. That's the membership part. Now you can be a member and be a customer. Every time I say member, I want you to think customer. You're now a customer and a member. Now, as a customer, you can do all that stuff. Now, see that picture right there and that little blue sign? I'm going to move on to another topic. And this part is optional. You don't have to do this one with being a customer, but you can add it on. Now, as a rep, I'm going to talk about being a rep. Every customer gets one of those blue signs. And what I want you to think of is that kind of our advertising. We don't really advertise. We just kind of give a blue sign and let you take pictures with it because it's kind of cool. And so I want to move on to that part. And here's some people with their blue sign. And here's what I want you to think during this section. Every time, you're going to see that blue sign from now on everywhere you look. If you watch the Super Bowl this year, it was on the Super Bowl. If you watch Good Morning America, it's usually on there. It's all over the world now. It's gone viral. But here's what I want you to think on this section. Every time you see a blue sign, cha-ching, somebody just made some money. So I'm going to kind of explain what I'm talking about. Here's a dream trip that I went on about a year and a half ago. I went to Africa, Tanzania, Africa, and I went on a dream trip, and what they did is they put together a dream trip that if you wanted to, you could climb the tallest freestanding mountain in the world. That's Mount Kilimanjaro. And for some crazy reason, I said I would do it. Now, I'm not doing this one again. It was the hardest thing I've ever done, but I got to tell you, it's one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done. It was unbelievable. Okay, so there's the mountain right there, Mount Kilimanjaro. There I am on the first day of the climb, coming up right there. That's me on the first day. It took us 6.5 days to climb that. A day and a half to come down, and every step of the way, it was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. It was incredible. And I kept saying, man, why am I doing this? But here I am in this picture. I made it to the top. Now, if you're looking at that picture where I am at the top, you see that big smile I got on my face? It's fake. I don't feel good right there. I got altitude sickness, got pulmonary edema, but inside I'm thinking, this is a cool picture, and I'm sitting on a place on the planet that not many men or women have ever been to before. And that's a peak life experience. That's something it's another page of the book. See, the world's a book, and most of us are reading one page over and over again. Would you agree with me that I just turned another page of the book, and it's a page not many people ever come on this earth get to turn? That was a cool picture, but I want to show you a better picture. See, I went with 14 guys from 6 different countries around the world. There's that picture. There's those 14 guys. We're on the top. And would you agree with me there's culture there? And that probably none of those people are ever going to leave this company because of what they experienced there. That's the strength of our company. Now, I'm going to ask you this. When I got back to America from this trip right here, do you think I showed anybody that picture right there? Anybody I know? You know the answer. I showed everybody. I showed everybody I knew. Look at this. It's me on the top of the mountain. If you go on a dream trip, or even if you're not with us and you go on a bucket list trip, you go to Bora Bora, you go to Santorini, Greece, you go to Bordeaux, France, you do something like that, are you going to take pictures when you're there? And when you get back, are you going to show anybody those pictures? The answer is yes. Last question. Wouldn't it be cool to get paid for showing those pictures? Because that's really what happens here. That day in the OR when I was telling them about that trip, I was showing pictures. I was showing the dolphins. I was showing the golf I played. I was showing the resort. All that stuff, and the 7 people said, me too, I want in. Well, when people say to you, me too, I want in, because they see your pictures and you tell them about the trip, that's what got us to $1 billion, right at $1 billion last year. Now, not only when I went to Africa, I'm showing the pictures, but when I got back, if we had this fly card and all this technology and all that coolness that you're seeing there with the fly card, when I'm in Africa, do you think I might have used that card? The answer is yes there too, if I'd have had it. Well, when I'm there in Africa, because we do business in Africa, do you think anybody there would ask me about the blinking green light, what's going on? The answer is yes. So can you see where we've gone viral in travel? We're now going to go viral with our technology and the ecosystem. Can you see where this could get bigger and bigger? Okay. Now, let me explain how it works. Here you are. You got your blue sign. You got your blinking card there. So you got a sea of blue signs and blinking lights getting ready to come. And here's what happens. When you go and show people the pictures and tell them about it, tell them how this works, and they say, me too, I want to be a member. Remember what I said about the blue sign? And now the card, cha-ching. Every time you see one, cha-ching, somebody's making some money. In this case, it's going to be you, because now you're a rep. Remember, you can be a rep without being a customer, and a customer without being a rep, or you can be both. But in this case, you're a rep. Now when you show people, guess what? They get their own blue signs, their own cards. And what does that mean? Cha-ching. And it can go viral. And as other people tell about it, after you tell your friend John and he tells somebody, all of a sudden you're overriding. And I usually get some of my friends to say something like this to me when I get to this slide. Oh, it's one of those things. And I always say, yeah, what do you mean one of those things? Oh, one of those things where you override the efforts of other people. I said, oh, like your job, because that's what happens at our job. And if it's okay there, it's okay here. It's called leverage. The problem we have with this ideal is when we talk about leverage, we've probably never done it. What we've done is traded time for dollars. And we're not used to this leverage concept. We've been in the leverage game, but we've been on the wrong side of the leverage game. We've been the leveragee, not the leverager. Who's the leveragers out there? People like Warren Buffett, people who have leveraged income, that have different streams of income, making money when they're not there. That's leveraged income. We could actually do that here. So that's how we do it with the sea of blue signs there. So let me show you how the money works real quick, okay? I'm from Oklahoma, so I'm going to make this real simple. Whoever's with you, they can explain it a little more in detail if you need to. But really, this is all you need to know. We're going to show buckets of business. So what do I mean by that? We have a 1 bucket bonus. So you come back and you show your friend Bob your pictures from your trip, and you tell him about the card, and he goes, okay, I want to be a member. I want to be a customer. So Bob goes into the yellow bucket. Now, Bob's in the bucket. He goes on a trip. Is he going to show anybody pictures that he knows? The answer is yes. And when those people become customers and reps, they go in the bucket as well. Now, all of Bob's friends go in the bucket. All their friends go in the bucket. Everybody that they know goes in the bucket. And if you know more people, you can put them in that yellow bucket. In the 1 bucket bonus, we can make somewhere between $2,000 to $1,800 a month just in that 1 bucket bonus, okay? Now, the good news, though, is we get that 1 bucket going. There's people in there. They're telling other people. As we got the 1 bucket going, where's the good news is there's actually a 2 bucket bonus. Now, the 2 bucket bonus, we're going to make that 2, and the 1 bucket bonus is still there, okay? So now the 2 bucket bonus, that bucket is green. And so what I mean by that is, let's say we have another friend. His name is Tom. We show him the pictures. Tom says, I want to do it. We make him a customer. We put Tom in the green bucket. Now, here's the question. If Tom's friends come in, do you think Tom's friends go in the yellow or the green bucket? The green. All of Tom's friends and all their friends go in the green. Here's the last comp plan question. As the buckets get fuller, do you think we make more or less money? The answer is more. That's the comp plan. Now, whoever invited you, if you want to know more, they can show you. There's actually some videos we can show you of the comp plan and all that kind of stuff and some literature. But that's how the comp plan works. Now, the 2 bucket bonus kind of works like this. Now there's people going in the buckets. You're putting some in. Your team's putting some in. But let's say your buckets get to 30 on the left, 30 on the right. That's in the yellow and green bucket. You're making somewhere around $600 average income. Now, I know that's not retirement money, but who would take $600 a month every month? Leveraged income. Everybody out there, okay? Now, but there's 60 people in the buckets. Can 60 people to show pictures faster than you can by yourself. Here's more leverage. The answer is yes, they can show it faster. So we get to 100 and 100, somewhere around $1,800 a month. We get to 200, around $4,000 a month. We get to 5,000, 500, 500, 10,000 a month. We get to 1,000, 1,000. You can see it's going to go up and up. 2,000, 2,000. You can see that. Here's our income disclosure statement. And when you get off of here, I'm going to give you a place to go get this income disclosure statement. But whoever's invited you, they can get you one too. I want you to see the averages. I want you to see the overrides, the highs, the lows. This is ours. So they're going to get that to you. I want you to know there's no guarantees here. I wasn't guaranteed. Nobody's guaranteed, but that's like life and anything. So here's what I'm telling you. It's possible. All this stuff you're seeing there is possible. Now, to be a rep, it's $100 one time and $20 a month. That's what runs my business. Okay, what I just showed you, again, my results aren't typical, but they're possible. But I was able to walk away from my anesthesia practice because of income here. And again, not trying to tell you that's what's going to happen to you, but it cost me $100 to set that business up one time. I can't open a lemonade stand for that, and $20 a month to maintain that. That's my overhead. Okay, now, who are we with? With that business, who do I go into business with? This company right here called World Ventures. That's the headquarters. It's in the Plano, Texas area, Dallas, Texas area, with over 100,000 square foot of office space right there. We got another building down the way of about 30,000 square foot because we ran out of space there. We got over 700 employees. We're in all 50 states and now over 30 markets around the world. We're on the Inc. 5000. I told you all that stuff. That's what you're getting. But remember this. The Fly card is in beta test right now. We're already successful. We're already on Inc. 5000. We did almost $1 billion, or somewhere around $1 billion last year. Guys, what are we getting ready to do? If you ever wanted to be at the right place at the right time, I think you're there. Ray Kroc said this, you got to be lucky. You got to be at the right place at the right time. Ray Kroc, the founder of McDonald's. You got to be at the right place at the right time, but that's not enough. Once you're there, he said the second thing is you got to know you're there. Well, most people never know they're there. And then the third thing, he said, if you're lucky enough to know you're there, now you got to take action. What's the action here? Get in. Come in and be a customer with us. If you want to be a rep, come be a rep with us. Come have some fun with us. And what if, when you step outside the bucket just a little bit, all of a sudden, what if you were making some residual income? What if that happened to you? See, that's what I would say. That's what I kept saying to myself, and it's changed my life forever. So let's just review. You can come in at the basic, which is $99.99 one time, $25 a month. Gold, $200 one time, $50 a month. Platinum, $300 one time, $100 a month. If we get 4, we waive those monthlies. If you choose to be a rep, remember you can do one without the other, or you could do both. But if you choose to be a rep, that is $100 one time and $20 a month. So guys, that's the program. And if you look at the bottom here, it says you can go get the income disclosure on the Chillin' Worldwide app. Everybody, you can download the Chillin' Worldwide app. It's free. And on there, the disclosure's back there. I would encourage you to go get that. Whoever's with you, they need to give you an income disclosure statement. And so click the documents button on there and you can get that income disclosure statement. Guys, that's it. I just wanted to come on real quickly, give you a quick overview. I hope you see what we see. Whoever invited you, they're really excited about it. They're going to look at you here in just a second or call you back up and say, that was awesome, wasn't it? You want to do it? And you let them know. Do you want to be a member? Do you want to be a rep? Do you want to be both? You let them know what you want to do, okay? Guys, thanks for coming on. We appreciate you. We're going to start doing these on Wednesdays for a while, so we'll do this again next Wednesday. Thanks for everybody coming on. This was awesome. We'll talk to you later. Thanks, everybody.